Hey guys! Todd and I are here to talk about how to take a 7-point skin fold caliper test. We're going to talk about why it's important first. When you're first on your weight loss journey, you want to get a variety of measurements so that you don't just have one way of telling if you're getting down to your goal. So those include a skin fold caliper, also girth, so that's where you're measuring the circumference of, so you're using a measuring tape to get the circumference of different body parts. And then there's also just looking at the way that your clothes fit, and of course there's the scale, but we want to look at a variety of options so that you're not just depending on the scale. For me personally, during my weight loss journey, there have been times where I've plateaued for a while, and I'm so thankful that I measured my body fat beforehand, because otherwise I would have just been lost. I would think that nothing was happening. Granted, my clothes felt a little bit better, but I'm glad that I had something that I could actually measure that made me go, okay, there's more happening here than just the scale not budging. So we're going to move on to showing you how to actually do this. I have a lot of people ask me, how do I do a skin fold caliper test? So the first thing you want to do is go on Amazon, and let's see if you can see this.
We'll provide a link at the bottom.
Yeah, there we go. It's called Light Stuff, is this kind of skin fold caliper. We have used the other type before that kind of like clicks into place. It doesn't really work very well once you get down into the lower numbers, like for this kind of body fat. For me, it still works for the most part, but the other clicky one, but this one works really well, especially when your body fat's getting really, really low, because it can measure all the way down to 0, which isn't necessarily the goal, but it can get there. So that's how low it measures. And then, let's see, was there anything else?
You were good?
Okay. So we'll get right into how to do this. One thing I want to mention is that if you are obese, this might not work very well for you, and you may want to click over to our video that we'll be doing pretty soon on girth measurements, because this only goes so high, and it just gets harder. And so this is more for like overweight and down. So that just wanted to throw that out there before you try to use this thing. Yeah. So what's going to happen is you're going to choose one side of the body or the other to work on and stick with that side of the body. So today we'll be working on Todd's right side. And you're going to go through the 7 points, and then you're going to do it a second time. And this just helps with error. So, if your measurements are off a little bit, the first time you get a second reading and you average the two together. So, alrighty. So the first thing that I want to tell you is when you have your Trainerize app, there's a body measurement section that we will show you at the end of this video, as far as inputting the information that you get. So as you're going through each section, you input the information in. So again, we'll show you that at the end. We just first want to get you to know where each piece is so that you understand what you're measuring. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So how do you measure the chest?
For men, you measure halfway in between the nipple and the armpit. And for women, you do a third of the distance from the nipple to the armpit. So you'll be much closer to your armpit for women.
Okay, so for him, I'm finding the middle. So I take it and I pinch. And what I'm finding is that when I'm pinching like a lot further in, I can feel his muscle in there. So I'm taking that and I'm kind of pulling slightly. I'm not killing him right now. I'm pulling it just slightly so that I don't have any muscle in there. All that's left is fat between my fingers. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to open it. And for this one in particular, I have to kind of flip it so that I can get a reading and see what's happening. Can you turn a little bit so that I can see?
Yeah.
Ah, there we go. Perfect. Okay, so, whoa, there you go. So what's happening is, as it clamps down, it shows numbers right here. So when it clamps down, when I did his chest, it fell about right here at the 5 millimeter mark. So then I would, in the Trainerize app, under next to chest, I would put 5 for 5 millimeters. Okay? Then we go to the tricep. And that's also half the distance between the shoulder and the elbow. So again, I'm taking these 2 fingers and I'm pinching so that I only have the extra fat. I'm not grabbing this, right? I'm not grabbing his muscle. I'm taking and I'm only pinching the fat. Okay? And this is something that you can play around with. It's okay to kind of figure out what works best for you. And you'll get an idea of what it feels like. So again, see how I'm kind of turning my arm and I'm pinching so that I can see the numbers. Can you turn a little bit so they can see? So I can see the numbers while we're doing this, okay? So his numbers say about 4.75. So I'll show you what that looks like when I'm doing it. Make sure you guys can see. There we go. So it's like 4.75. It's just barely under 5. So you would write in there 4.75. Again, you're trying to get as exact as possible. Okay, so after the tricep is what?
The subscap.
Okay, so in Trainerize, does it say scapulary? Is that what it says it? Scapula.
Yes.
Yeah, so what you're doing is first the scapula, you're looking for the angle down of the shoulder blade. So can you show where your shoulder blades are? You can kind of see it right there. Yeah, right there. So you can see kind of where his shoulder blade is. So you're going kind of along that line and you're pinching along that spot right there. And again, see how I don't have his like back muscle. I have just the back fat, which not very much. Okay, and so my number is 7 millimeters. So I would put 7 in the app. Okay, next, what's this called?
A mid-axillary.
Okay.
And it is in line with your nipple, basically. You'll come to the side of your body, directly middle of the side of your body, and take a measurement there.
So I kind of draw a line right there and pinch. And so right underneath it, I pinch it again so that I can see the numbers. Okay? And then I would find that number and put it in the app. Nice.
Next is the suprailiac. This is your iliac crest. And
Okay.
You're measuring it at an angle again, at a 45-degree angle, where your hip bone is at the top here.
Yep, so I'm finding that where that line is and right above it. I'm squeezing. Now here's the deal. He's such low body fat. It's really hard for me to get it. I always struggle with this one because this one actually probably does it hurt a little bit?
No.
No? Okay. So then I take a reading and then I put it down in the app.
So our next measurement is our abs. And we measure from the belly button and over, pinch, and then clip and measure, which Laura will demonstrate.
And again, because we're doing the left side of the body, I'm taking the left side of the belly button. Or right side, sorry.
Right side.
Right side. Okay, so then again, I'm pinching right here, and I'm taking my measurement. Okay, and then give it a second. Look at the number. All right, it's also 7. millimeters. Okay, and then here's the last piece of the 7-point skin fold caliper test.
Admire the white legs. This last one is your thigh. It goes from your mid-distance from your hip to your knee. And
Okay. And so sometimes what helps me, a little hack here, is I'll give myself a point of reference by going like this, and then I kind of eyeball, that's the middle, okay? And and again, when I go back through this the second time, I try to hit that same spot every time, so that I minimize error. Okay, then I take the rating. And so if you look, you pretty much every single time, I'm pinching above, and then I'm like this, and then I'm taking a reading. And if you notice, I'm kind of flipped over so that I can see what's happening. Otherwise, if I tried to take it this way, underneath, I would have to go like this to figure out what the reading is. That's not gonna work. So
another thing of note is that when you're where you pinch at, you don't want the calipers right beside your fingers. You want them just like, a centimeter away. If you have them right beside it, you can throw your test results off because that's where you have the most pressure when you're pinching. So you measure just a little bit away from it, and you'll get more accurate readings that way.
Yep. And so that's the 7-point skin caliper test. Again, go through it another time. So if I got 7 the first time right here, and then I got 7.5 the second time, I would do 7.25, and that would be my end. I would call that my end result for the app.
So the great thing about the skin fold caliper is that once you enter your information into the TrainerRise app, it'll automatically do the calculations to tell you your percent body fat. And then with your weight entered in as well, you will be able to get a reading on your lean mass, which is your muscle mass, and then your fat mass. And so even if you're staying the same weight for a couple weeks, you can see if you're gaining muscle because you're working out, but losing fat. And they meet in the middle sometimes, and you're not actually losing weight. So this is a great way to keep that motivation up, even if that scale's not changing.
All right, well, you guys got this. Let us know what you think. And please write to us if you have any questions at laura@lauratempos.com. Thank you.
Hello everyone, this is the TrainerRise app. When you open the app, you can enter in a body stat by clicking the plus sign here in the bottom right hand corner. Once you do that, you can click on body stats, and this is where you can enter in your weight at the top. And then we click on the caliper body fat percent, and we change it at the top to a 7-site measurement for more accuracy. Here's where we enter in all of our measurements for millimeters. So I will enter in what Laura recorded yesterday. The subscapular measurement is the reading on your back, underneath your shoulder blade. The axilla is the measurement on your side with your arm raised. And the suprailiac is at your hip, just above your hip bone. And then we enter in our last measurement for the thigh. And once you click done, it will tell you your percent body fat, which is awesome. Saves a lot of work. For those that are using a scale at home, the fat percent is a way to track the readings that you get on your scale, because you will see change over time. And that is another way to record the percent body fat. If you'd like to see your results, once you click save, you can tap on it there in the middle. And if you'd like to see the graph of your percent body fat, you can just click straight on the result, and it'll take you to the graph. And so this is a great way to track over time how things change. Plus, you can also, at the top, change it if you want to compare it to your body weight. So you can see how your weight changes along with your percent body fat changing. So, hope you enjoyed, and all the best to you.